Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. We're back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. I have my co-pilot, the junior grandmaster himself, in the co-pilot seat, Greg McDaniel. We're talking about what we would have done differently if we were starting all over in the business again. So what is up, man?
What is up, man? I was gonna say happy Friday. It feels like a freaking Friday, and I think
It is for all intents and purposes. It is.
If tech does not if tech doesn't stop fucking with you, I think you are literally going to blow a gasket. This poor guy over here, guys, he is losing his shit today. Just like
yeah, something like that.
So hey, you want to see something funny?
Sure.
I brought something all the way from home for you. So I'm gonna do some work. I got my Hobbit pads back and they grew. Look at the size of those things, man. Should have its own zip code.
What do you mean you got them back? Where'd they go?
Oh, they've been in a drawer, and I needed to pull them all out and go through a lot of stuff for some of the stuff that you and I are going to be building. And there's just a ton of knowledge in there. So yeah. I need to pull them out, and I'm just like, crap, there's a lot of fucking notepads right there.
Okay.
What sane person actually writes that many notepads?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, dude. But I'm
in fact, I probably am the only other person in the world that does that. I don't do it with legal pads. I do it with spiral bound notebooks. But I realized that I ran out of my last journal notebook, I think yesterday, and I was looking around and I'm flipping through like all these notebooks thinking one of these has to be new. I had to have bought one of these and set them aside and not used it yet. No, they're all written in. I'm like, I gotta go buy new notepads. In fact, that's what I'm gonna do. That's how I'm gonna make myself feel better. That is the reward that I will be giving myself after this horrible, miserable excuse of a day with this whole technology stuff. Trying to get the new live broadcast figured out with this new platform. Yeah, I think that's how I'll reward myself, is with a nice set of crisp, new, pristine, spiral bound notebooks that I will start to write in.
You know we're total dorks, right?
Hey man, you do what you gotta do. Some people turn to scotch, which I enjoy, but I do not binge on. But I will binge on two things: cookies and notebooks.
Those cookies don't stand a chance when you're having a bad day. I feel bad for the cookie aisle at Safeway for you, pal.
Yeah, well, I'm not so much for the cookie aisle, but more of the people standing between me and the cookies that I will be obtaining in the cookie aisle.
Those are the
people to feel sorry for. But as somebody messaged me when we announced that we were going live, hashtag bring the value. Let's do that. There was a question that caught my eye on the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections Facebook page. And guys, if you're not already a part of that, go join it immediately. And if you have some friends in the business, immediately add them, invite them into the group. We will approve them, assuming they actually are in real estate and are not a fake profile from the Philippines with 17 friends who was born in Council Bluffs, Iowa in 2015. But anyway.
You don't even approve people. What are you talking about? I'll approve them.
Great. All right. So great. If you have a fake profile, invite him in. Greg will approve him. Anyway, let's get to the question. So Inga Modurella, I guarantee I butchered all three parts of her name. But anyway, Inga says, has anyone experienced a neighbor next to your listing who is on purpose sabotaging the sale of the listing?
Oh my God, I have the greatest story for this.
Seriously? All right.
Oh, dude, it is epic. Hold on, I'm posting our link into the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections. So everybody can go binge on us in 2 different locations. Okay, fantastic. Now that I'm back and I'm halfway paying attention to you, Matt, this is what I would say. Okay, there was probably about 10, 12 years ago, we had this older couple, super, super sweet. They lived in the house almost since when dirt was invented. And they were like the kindest, oldest couple. Now, there are these cockroaches that lived across the street, this father and son. These two douchebags squared would actually sit out there and yell and taunt our older neighbors. On broker's tour, they sat outside drinking beer in stained white shirts. And yes, they stepped it up for the Sunday open house, everybody. They stepped it up. Those asswipes actually sat out there shirtless, picking their belly buttons, drinking beer, talking shit to the buyers. I'm sitting there going, fuck you guys, are you kidding me?
What was the motive? They loved the existing neighbor so much they didn't want him to move.
They're just assholes.
Douchebag squared, which I like that phrase because I think there's a case to be made for it being scientifically proven that 2 douchebags in extremely close proximity exponentially amplifies the douchebaggery that is taking place And
are you talking about us?
Two different douchebags become douchebag squared. Well, some people may think so, but I would like to think we're not part of that equation. But yeah,
I would hope that they stop watching our show immediately. Please leave, douchebags.
That's right.
No, but and get this, they were father-son.
Yeah. Well, hey, the apple doesn't fall from the tree, right?
Oh, it was unreal, man. Yeah. So I had one of those. Who else did we had? We had another guy who on Sundays he would fire up his motorcycles. Right during the Sunday open houses and proceed to rev them just the whole fucking time. Just whoa! Just nonstop. I mean, you just cannot fix stupid, man. You just cannot fix stupid.
No, but you can do diabolic things to them outside of the open houses.
Burning bags of poop.
To make sure that they, burning bags of poop. I like that. That's not bad.
Billy Madison, come on. Don't step on it with your boots, Ted. Don't tell me my business, devil woman. Come on.
Oh, quotes. All right. I don't remember that, so I don't get the joke, but all right.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, go back and watch immediately. What's another question we got, man?
All right. Here's a good one, but it may be a little big for us to answer. So Philip Swanson from Ogden, Utah says, "Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm a new-ish realtor looking for advice. Right now, real estate is a part-time job for me. Long story short, I have a day job at the moment that takes precedence. However, I want to do real estate exclusively within a year. But that said, I only have about 3 to 4 hours Monday through Friday, but all weekend that I can dedicate to real estate. I'd love some tips and some insight into what you think my focus should be." So you've got 3 to 4 hours during the week.
Is that total or is that a day?
That 3 to 4 hours sounds like total.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Home cheeser.
Home cheeser? Is that what you said?
Home cheeser. Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll bite. Well, where in the world does that come from?
I don't know. I just make it up. Like home skillet, home cheeser. I don't know.
All right.
Okay, so we're thinking about 3 to 4 hours a week.
Yeah, plus the weekend.
Well, I guess what he could do to 3 to 4 hours, it has to be 3 to 4 hours a day, like in the evening times. I mean,
I'm guessing it's an hour. I'm guessing it's an hour a day max.
Okay, let's give him an hour a day max. So what I would say for an hour and a day max, he wants to build up, maybe something, how to break into real estate. Well, you book Saturday and Sunday from sun up to sundown, either showings or prospecting consistently. And we're listing appointments or something along those lines, or you go and you partner up with an established agent and take a smaller cut of using some of their stuff. Matt is vigorously shaking his head like, "You pay attention. I'm here. Look."
Yes.
That's another way I'd go about it. Just so you can maybe suckle off the teat of knowledge from the other agent and see kind of what they have to say. But you have that partnership. Like if Matt wanted to break into the business and he can only give you 3 to 4 hours, then I would schedule him as a showing agent on the weekends to go do the showings to get the experience of showing the properties. He'd make a little bit of money per client that he shows. It'd be mainly experience that you'd be wanting to gain in that scenario, because you cannot do real estate 3 to 4 hours. Let's say it's just 5 hours a week total, and then 2 packed weekends, because ultimately you're burning the candle at both ends. And if you burn the candle at both ends, you're going to burn out. When you burn out, you're gonna hate the industry, and you're not going to want to get back in. Your wife's going to yell at you. Your kids are going to hate your wife. Your daughter's going to come back pregnant with purple hair and piercings. I mean, overall, Matt, it's just a bad scenario. And I got the eye rub.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. That went all the way to daughter with the purple hair. Very, very quickly. Very quickly. Yes. Well, here's the deal. I mean, it's like Frank from Viral has told me this a million times. Even when you have your own business, what ends up happening is you work in the business Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. You work on the business nights and weekends. That's the way it is. Yes, you can, to a certain limited extent, when it's your own business, sometimes working on things that propel the business forward, you can kind of creep into the Monday through Friday 8 to 5. But most of the time that's not really feasible. So you're already working with the fact that you're going to have to work for 10, 11, 12 hours a day if you want to get something new off the ground, whether it's going into a full-time or working another job part-time, full-time, and doing, real estate some on the side. Either way, just commit to working 10, 11, 12 hours a day, because to get something off the ground, you're going to have to do it one way or the other. So if you have those couple hours a night and the weekends, I love the idea of partnering up with an established agent, offering to help show their homes. And I would run, if you're licensed already, start running open houses. And take some of the advice of people like Dave Pinnell that we've had on the show here about a month ago, who runs the massive open house program. And you can easily do everything you need to run that entire program in an hour a day during the week, and your open house taking place on Sunday. You can do your door knocking on Saturday and your circle prospecting if you want to do calls. You show up to the open house, and that's the bulk of your Sunday. And then your Monday through Friday, that hour a day that you have, you can put into, setting up the Facebook ads and getting it loaded up onto the MLS, and passing out flyers and putting up your pre-signs on Thursday and all this stuff. So you can run that whole program and run a massive open house every single weekend in just a few hours during the week, and your 2 days on the weekend. So that's definitely feasible. That will get you leads, and that will get you going. But it's going to be tough sledding, initially. Like you're not going to make like a full-time income in real estate doing just that. You need some other lead source. And so the other thing that I would do if I were in his position is start priming your database and letting them know, hey, I'm going into real estate. I'm really, here's what I'm committing to do. I'm partnering up with an established agent to get started and hit the ground right. And they're going to mentor me in how to do the deals correctly. So if you need something, not only will I have the energy and enthusiasm of a new person, but I'll have the wisdom and the experience of an older person all in one package for you.
Right.
So your database
you also need a time hack. You have to time hack yourself. You have to time hack yourself. Time hack. Like hack, chop.
Yeah. John, I'm trying to understand, first of all, what you said. And then now that I know what you said, I'm trying to understand what in the world you mean.
This is what I'm saying. So everybody's on Facebook. Those of you who are watching us on Facebook in the future and have in the past. Guys, look, I've been doing a lot of research about what Facebook is doing. Matt and I are going to put together a whole program on this thing. It is absolutely scary how big this thing is. But you guys, here, I'll give you a free tip right now. To go out and touch and communicate with all of your sphere of influence for 100% free, go to the Facebook Messenger app. Now, there's 1 billion people using this thing, all right? And do a 15-second video or a 1-minute audio recording to everybody in that in your sphere of influence. You can create your a custom list of people, and you can push out a Facebook Live just to that list. So it's take all your friends and family and anyone else you think is a sphere, do one video, but broadcast that video just to that list, talking about what you're doing that day. So you're going to reach out and tell everyone that you can that you're in the business, like Matt was saying. Also, you're going to take everybody, put them in a custom list, and then do customized videos just to that list on a daily basis about something real estate-esque. If you have an hour a day, read an article from RealtyTimes.com. Regurgitate it back out on a video, start becoming an aficionado of real estate in your folks' minds. And it's going to cost you $0, and it's going to take you less than an hour a day. Boom! We've solved the mystery, Matt. Pack it up.
That's right. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's mention a couple things, and then let's dive into what we would do differently if we're getting back into the business today. That's a pretty good preface for that whole conversation. We've got a lot to talk about, and then maybe we'll drop some stuff on social media as well. So first of all, go to our website, guys, McDanielRealEstateSystems.com. There's 2 things I want you to check out. Number 1 is Greg's favorite scripts. That's entirely free. It is a downloadable ebook, kind of a PDF thing. It's got all of Greg's actual the words that he says, and then links to videos where you can actually hear the phrase and the tonality of Greg going through each script, right? So that's entirely free. And then the other thing that's there is our high-tech, high-touch real estate farming course. That is 8.5 hours of solid content, just me taking Greg, sitting him down, and like a lemon, just being squeezed into freshly pressed juice. I squeezed out all the goodness of his brain, got all the stuff out about farming, how to pick the right farm, how many houses should be in it, what your turnover rate should be, how to figure out if there's a competing agent, all the way to all the different types of prospecting you can do in your farm, how to use Zillow, how to use events, all that good stuff. So anyway, go check that out. That's the high-tech, high-touch real real estate farming. It is 99 smackers. It is unbelievably cheap for the amount of content that goes into that. And then Greg, who do you have to shout out today?
I got a lot of cool people. One thing, guys, Matt and I are going to be updating the scripts. We're going to be adding in circle prospecting, which I have been, made aware that we do not have my scripts in there. My deepest apologies, but we're going to do just listed, just sold, a buyer's need, and then my new script, guys. If you haven't seen me use it, is my Go for No script. It is epic. Epic. I just started using it this week, the week of November, week of Thanksgiving in 2016. If you guys are watching this in like 2040. So I have just some amazing people that I had an opportunity to talk with. Felipe, dude, out of Buffalo, New York. Boom, man. What a great conversation on Monday, dude. You have got some really good stuff coming your way, my friend. If you keep working as hard as you do, and I know you will because you're driven. Matt, we came up with a thing with Felipe that his punishment, if he didn't do the task we came up with on a daily basis, he could not get smarter that day. That meant no podcast, meant no books, meant no blogs. You have to remain as dumb as you woke up. And he's like, what? I can't do that. So we got to motivate. So Felipe, I see a lot of good things for you. Maria, what a great and honor to talk with you last night. It was super, super fun. I really had a good time. You and I had some really good breakthroughs. Not Maria, Marie. What am I talking about? Marie. And it was awesome. So I want you to remember your daughter and what we talked about and that which conversation are you going to have? Positive or not so positive? And then tonight, oh my gosh, Matt, I called up. I talked to Wendy. She's out of Florida. Her 7-year-old son watches us, and he makes sure that he tells his mom when Real Estate Uncensored's on or when I go live into lead gen scripts and objections. So he wanted to make sure he could say hi tonight, and that was awesome. So Wendy, we're gonna have a great talk. So a lot of just fun, valuable conversations this week.
Cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So there was one more question that caught my eye before we move on. Let me scroll back. It's been disappeared off my screen here. Okay, there we go. So same thing, lead gen scripts and objections Facebook group. This is Odalis Gonzalez. It says you get a lead that's not looking to sell, maybe anywhere between 3 months and a year. And so setting aside, the phrasing of that is a little bit confusing. But let's say they just tell you, well, I'm not ready to do something right now, but maybe in a few months or sometime between 3 months and a year, I need to do something. So the point of the question is, what is your follow-up system and what does that nurturing look like and what services do you use for that? So Greg, if you get a lead where it's at least 3 months out, what are you doing to nurture that person?
So Beverly and I right now are working with Chris Tam, the owner of FirePoint. We are very, very close, probably second half of January. We're going to, FirePoint's going to work through all the kinks that, Beverly wants to see done. At that point, the reason I'm telling you this is that FirePoint's going to be, running like a well-oiled machine. So there's going to be different buckets and different levels that we're going to be putting them in and moving them through the database. No one gets deleted. Okay, you guys, do not delete people out of your database if they have a good phone number or a good email. If you have no way of communicating with them, dump them. There's no big, forget about it. But what I would do is I would do follow-up. For me, the way I'm doing it right now is I put them into my Google Calendar, and as they say 3 months, great, I'll call them 2.5. Or 2 months and just touch base and see how they're doing. Then go from there, but keep moving them up in my Google Calendar at the moment. But I know Beverly is rolling over and wanting to pimp slap me if she hears this podcast because she would freak out and scream because there is no process. And yes, Matt, there's no process. I know what I said. But, we are going to have a process built in that we can
what's your system right now?
I just told you. Calendar, Google Calendar. I put them in there.
Google Calendar. Yeah, but that's not your follow-up. So that's your system for reminding yourself of when to call.
That's my follow. That's my system right now. Or I have the Eileen.
Yeah, but they're going into your database. They're getting the viral videos. If possible, you're friending them on Facebook, and they're getting your Facebook lives and yada yada. I mean, if you can, what do you mean you can't friend them?
I can't friend them. I have 5,000 friends, dude. Facebook's a dick.
I see what you mean. Well, why don't you just dump somebody you don't care about?
Well, I don't talk to this Matt Johnson.
Who's more valuable? Yeah, thanks. You're gonna dump me off Facebook for your $1 million lead. That's fine. Whatever. Yeah, it's been a good ride, Greg. Appreciate it.
But goodbye, cruel world. I'm out.
Exactly. All right, but anyway, you do have a follow-up system. You have a system for nurturing leads. You have content that's going out. You have emails that are going out. You have, what is that? What's your newsletter? What's your email newsletter deal you guys send out? Home actions?
Yeah, home actions.
Yeah, that goes out in the off weeks that viral marketing doesn't send your video out. So you have video, then newsletter, then video, then newsletter. So you've got like you're dumping them into your email list and they're getting all that stuff. What you're saying is that on top of all that, Firepoint is building a system to move them through specific buckets where they're maybe getting more specific content and a regular scheduled set of calls from you. Right, as they move through these different systems, which is fine. That's great, but that's another layer on top of the existing layer you already have in place.
Yeah, I mean, the layer that I interact with, you asked what I do. If you don't know what the team does, yes, that's what we do as a team, but what I do is what I answered. So everybody's going to have a different level of sophistication and income that's going to be able to support the different types of things that we just talked about. I mean, I have a very expensive follow-up system, and it's going to get more expensive, but the price point we're working in, it definitely makes sense. If you guys, if you guys are and this is not a pitch, this is just something that I want you guys to think about. If you guys want to talk to Beverly about having her clean up your database, which as soon as I figured that she would do it, she and Chris Tam laughed their butts off because they said, "Oh my God, Greg, no joke, this is the worst database we have ever seen." We have 220 tabs or identifiers of where people come from. I'm like, what?
What do you mean, 220 like lead sources?
Yes.
Good God, dude. There's not that many lead sources in the entire world.
Well, the Grandmaster does believe he can create a unique lead source for every single human being on planet Earth, and that's what we have. So that's what we are decluster-fucking at the moment. So that's why I'm saying it's going to be a lot different with Firepoint once we get it up and running sometime beginning of Q1, which I'm
all right.
Thankful for.
Well, let's move on. That's a whole other Well, let's scale it back and let's keep it simple for a second. So somebody made a really great comment on that, which is that rule of thumb is divided by 2. So if they say 90 days, you call them back. Great. I will call you back in about 45 days just to see where you guys are at. Is that okay? Yes. Sounds great. All right. Thanks. We'll talk to you then. Go immediately to your Google Calendar, go 45 days out, set yourself the reminder. That's exactly what Michael Mayer did, used Google Calendar for years. And so, yeah, no sophisticated technology required just to set yourself a reminder to call somebody back.
Yeah, just take an action and put something in a calendar so that when that day comes around, oh, look, I got to call Matt and Julie and his 3 obese little wood denting, obese babies. I mean, they need insulin. I got to call. That's right. Or a donut. Who cares? Because they're on a diet. They don't get 2 donuts. But yeah, I put them in there, and it does really help me stay on point. Yes, it's in the system, but low tech, no cost. That's the easiest way to do it, guys. But get a CRM. Don't use 3x5 cards. Oh my God.
Yeah. And by the way, the HubSpot free CRM is really good. I like it. I'm liking it so far.
Oh, good. Go for it.
It's very good. Okay, so what would we do differently? So take me back in time, Greg.
Oh God.
Back to when you're fat and hairy and drunk, whatever it was that you say that you were back then. If anybody's heard that story, first of all, if anybody's curious about the origins of Real Estate Uncensored, there is an episode. I think it's actually called that, the origin of Real Estate Uncensored. If I remember right, if you go on our YouTube channel and search that, there is we did a whole podcast on how in the world did we get here, like both of our backgrounds, and like Greg shares his freaking roller coaster ride of a career in real estate and before real estate and all that stuff. So if you're curious about like what Greg actually did to get here, go back and watch that episode. But let's talk about what you would have done, should have done, if there was shall we say, a Greg McDaniel in your life at that point that would have given you a slightly different smack in the butt to do something different. So what's your take on that?
I would have fired me is what I would have done. But I mean, I guess
what your dad did with just letting you hang in there and just letting me hang in your bullshit.
An epic amounts of it too. So what would I do different if I could go?
Greg is what we call a recovering douche.
I got my 15-year pin right here. I don't go anywhere without it. See? Right there.
That's right. 15 years, douche-free.
Douche-free. So I can't believe we're recovering douche. Seriously? Oh my God. Okay, so what I would do is I would go into the business more business minded, not with an egocentric mindset. I came into it, self-entitled, ego driven, with kind of like this. I could do it. It doesn't matter. My father has a big name. Everyone's going to bow down and kiss my toes. Kind of a stupid fucking mindset. Yeah. I would go into it and I would analyze it, and I would actually listen. Listen to advice. Wow, that would have been epic if I just listened to advice. My dad, he got in. Again, I thought my dad was an idiot because, I was a douche at that time. I was not a douche in recovery. But he said, Greg, why don't you go be the condo king? I'm like, I don't want to do the condos, Dad. I want to go do the $1 million houses. 21 years old with a baby face. Come on, man. Well, I did not have my father. There's no way in hell I would have been able to do anything in this industry. So I would have taken advice from industry leaders. I would have studied and done, and educated myself way more than I did. And I would have gone to find a marketplace that looked like me. Same age, same everything. Start working with buyers. Don't work with sellers. When you first get in, it's the easy money. I think that's really where I would start. Matt, where would you start when you got, what would you change?
Same thing, actually. I don't
You're
mind.
You're a douche in recovery too?
No, I was not douchey enough. Sadly, I could have been much douche. I aspire to be half the douche that you were, because I feel like I'd be more successful. I need a little bit more touch of douche. It doesn't need to be drenched, just a light dusting.
Oh my God.
Anyway, no, it's I like that perspective. So I immediately went after sellers. And I went after expired. So I had a pretty decent source of like now business, which is what most agents struggle with. I didn't necessarily struggle with that as much. So I had a good source of now business. What I didn't do is, part of the reason why I went after expireds is I didn't have a great database. I'd only lived in Omaha for 5 or 6 years up until that point, and most of my contacts were in the church realm, and we left the church that we were going to. So in that world, that usually makes you persona non grata. So literally, my database went from 300 people to zero overnight.
That could be a problem.
So by the time I got into real estate, I still virtually, if I would have gone through one of the memory joggers, like if I would have gotten a hold of Tim Templeton's book, The Referral of a Lifetime, or if Michael Mayer's 7 Levels of Communication, if that was around and I got my hands on a book like that at that time, here's what I would have done. I would have sat down and said, okay, in my mind, I think I don't have a database in Omaha, but I know I do. I've been here for a few years. I have to know some people, even if it's only 5 people. I would have written down those 5 people and taken them out to lunch. And then I would have started out from there. And I would have, so we started with the brokerage, and the broker there wanted to take us, and especially my business partner, under his wing. He was a Mike Ferry guy, and so he wanted to teach us how to do, 80s style, hit the phones, hardcore prospecting. We wanted to go with more of a marketing approach, which ended up working, but it also kind of, it kind of cut us off from getting the mentorship that we needed. And in retrospect, what I should have done is I should have partnered up with an agent that had a similar mindset, but had been further down that path. Maybe someone that followed Craig Proctor's stuff and was kind of steeped in that marketing world. And if I would have found that person, I should have just gone to them and said, hey, look, I'll freaking get you coffee if that's what it takes to learn what you're doing. And I'm more than happy to give you a nice big fat percentage of my deals for the first year or two in exchange for you teaching me everything you know about the business. If I would have done that, if I would have found the right person, that would have just absolutely accelerated my progress. The other thing I should have done is, starting again with the database, is doing what Jeff Cohn did, which is going out and interviewing other business owners to ask them like why their business is successful and what tips they have for someone that's young. Because when you're in that position, you're in your early 20s, you'd be surprised who will give you time just for the privilege and like kind of the ego factor of kind of helping someone that's a young whippersnapper. You know what I'm saying? Which I completely that literally was not on my radar at all. I did not even think about doing that, Jeff, which just shows you, Jeff Cohn is much smarter than me in some areas. And because that's one of the ways that he got started, was he started taking people out to lunch. He would ask people out to lunch and just say, hey, I'm young, I'm just getting started, I'm fresh out of college, I want to be really successful. I'd love to just take you out to lunch and just pick your brain on, what you've done to be successful, and see if there's, what advice you have for a young person in my position. And he got, 30 of the top people in Omaha to go out to lunch with him, which it literally didn't even cross my mind. So if I had thought of that, I would have done that, because that would have done two things. Number one, it would have given me some practical tips, and whether it's things that they did or the mistakes that I shouldn't reproduce, either way, it would give me some valuable information. Number two, it would have started me on the road to building up some strategic referral relationships, right? Because I should have gone after more of my crowd, the mid to late 20s, first-time home buyers, first-time home sellers, that crowd. Guys that are in their 50s and 60s, they have their database of people that are their age, and they don't necessarily want to work with people in their 20s, and they could have referred that business to me. That's not even counting all the people in other businesses that I could have talked to and developed referral relationships in other industries, like contractors and financial advisors and estate attorneys and family attorneys and all these other people that I could have gone out and built relationships with that could have sent me business that I didn't even think about going after. So there's a whole litany of things that I would have done differently if I was getting back into the business now, knowing what I know now after 2 years of interviewing nothing but wildly successful people.
Yeah, so basically it's doing everything that you did wrong. A couple other things I was writing down when you were talking is this. I would have come back into it. Huh? What? No, what? Wait, you were talking? All right.
Give me a hard time for writing things down while I was talking. How dare you? You should be enraptured attention to what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Can you go back?
I don't know.
Come again? What?
Not important.
Okay, so a couple of things I was thinking, writing down, I would have gone in with a better work ethic. I would have treated this like a profession. I would have applied myself, and I would have gone in and found my why. Why am I doing this business? Really gone in. I would have written my goals down on a consistent basis. I would have reviewed them on a daily basis. I would have really became a student of mindset, so that when there was rejection, when there was strife, when there was anxiety, I knew how to handle those mental mountains and get through them. Like right now, I'm going through some mental stuff, and I have to consistently release negative energy. I have consistently reinforce and look at my mindset, go look at my goals, and it has been very helpful. I can release negativity out of myself like that now, but I wish I could have done it then, because I carried negativity around like the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I didn't know how to get rid of it. The book that transformed my life is called Follow Your Passion, Find Your Power by Bob Doyle. Again, it's Follow Your Passion, Find Your Power by Bob Doyle. I listened to that book, aka read, Matt's going to pick on me for being dyslexic, for 13 months in my Denali, straight, nothing else but 13 months, until my CD player started acting up, and then I had to stop. But, I listened to it every single time, and what it taught me in that book, and this is way after when I began, guys. This was about 3 years ago when I listened to that book. It taught me how to release energy. And you guys ever have that set of goal or set of dream or a set of want in your life, and you get that twinge? Like, I can't get it. I'm not good enough. This won't happen. This is a stupid thing. There's two different releasing techniques. And I'm not talking crystals and incense here, guys. They're just talking legitimate processes to release stuff out of your system. Mechanics. Yeah. And one of them was called the Sedona method. You can do that. I do the Sedona method every day. It's very simple. I want you to go look it up. What it is this: is that you understand your feeling about what the negative aspect that you're having here. You're okay. You resonate with it. Then you ask yourself, could I release this? Then you ask yourself, would I release this? Then you ask yourself, when? Now, it doesn't matter if you say no. It doesn't matter if you say yes. If you say no, some level of energy will be released out of your system. Go back and do this system several times, or until you feel that weight come off. I have literally felt thousands of pounds come off of me mentally, emotionally, and it was amazing. The other one's called Meridian Tapping. There's a guy named Brad Yates on YouTube. You can go look at him. If you guys do Meridian Tapping and you've never really adhered to it before, look, you are going to feel fucking stupid the first time you do it. All right, do it somewhere where no one's going to look at you, because you're going to feel like an idiot. But I can tell you right now, get the book and listen to it and read it. That's some of the stuff that I would have done, and also would have humbled myself. I would have humbled myself to go ask for help. If you don't, I had a conversation with someone on our McDaniel challenge, and this person was saying, well, gosh, I don't want to look stupid. Motherfucker, you are stupid in this business right now. Okay? End of story. It's okay.
Yeah. That seriously, that holds a lot of people back, and it's held me back in certain areas. That the unwillingness to look stupid, which is pride, and so one of the things that I work on every morning in meditation is just that. It's part of the mantra of along with box breathing. So go and read Mark Divine's Unbeatable Mind or Way of the Seal or any of his stuff. You learn about box breathing in conjunction with a mantra. Part of my mantra is releasing ego, pride, and fear.
That's a good one.
Those are the three things that hold us all back,
Absolutely. I mean, why are you not going to go prospect? Because your ego is saying like, I'm better than this, and you're fearful of rejection. If you can desensitize yourself to the word no, that is going to be one of the most powerful things you can ever say. If I said business card, or if I said yellow pad, or bottle of water, none of those words or phrases have any negative energy towards you. But if I say no, never, not going to happen, those hold negative connotations in your mind. But if you can hear it no enough, and gentlemen who are single, take this into mind, asking women out, you're going to hear no a lot. So you might want to get started now in real estate. It's a lot less painful. Had to throw it in there. Come on. But I mean, what I'm saying is that go read the book, Go for No. That book is another tremendous book. It taught me how to turn prospecting on its head. It taught me how to gamify it, and it taught me how to, I've flipped Matt and I are going to record my script that I'm doing for the Go for No off that book. Matt, I'm telling you right now, dude, it has changed the way that I interact with people. I don't get yelled at anymore. I don't have angry old people. I don't get FUs. It's a mind blown on how a transformation of a script can be, substantial in your business. And that goes back to becoming a student of the business. Work in your business, day-to-day grind, right? Buying, selling, renting, contracts, negotiations. That's working in your business. Working on your business, I've said this 1,000 times, is education. Binging on our podcasts, listening to other great podcasts, reading phenomenal books. Read at least a book a month, guys. Come on, sack up. The average American won't read one book a month, and it's on average, it's a romance novel. And no wonder we're a fucking stupid country. But if you guys can go read one book a month on something, you'll become a lot smarter, and you'll be actually more interesting to both the opposite sex and to your clients. Okay, if you actually have something to contribute to the conversation. So I keep telling Matt, read more. Damn it, you got to keep up with me.
Is that the secret to being more attractive to the opposite sex?
Read more.
Reading $5 books a month to 10 books a month.
Yes, Matt. No, you guys, actually, that's a total joke. Matt reads way more than I do. I don't have enough time to listen to everything. But, it is true. The self-education is incredibly powerful. Get the hell out of the office. This thing right here, this is called a cell phone. Everyone has these things, okay? Hold on, Matt, let's wait for this. Do we hear anything? Is it doing anything?
I do not.
No, it's not ringing on its own, and leads are not just falling into your lap. Go out and find the people. Get out of the office. The business does not happen here, guys. It happens out there. Go meet people. Go hand out 25 business cards every single day for the next 60 days. I will guarantee you $1,000 that will bring massive business into your life. But the ego stopped me. It stopped me out of fear too, because I thought I was better than that. Yeah. In reality, none of us are. Okay, and everyone is scared. Matt and I still get scared when I'm doing prospecting or calling. I just put on a really strong face. Matt, you get scared in life, even though you and I, have done this for a while. It's okay to be afraid. Okay, it's okay. It should be something. You should do something fearful every day. Thank you, Eleanor Roosevelt, for saying that, because doing that again puts you into out of your comfort zone. When you're out of your comfort zone, that's where you grow. That's where your future is, because your comfort zone is what you've done in the past. If you're going to do that same thing, you're always going to get what you already have. You can't do that. You've got to do something different to get something in somewhere different. So what would that be for you guys? Don't be me, please, because it took me 18 years 15 years, because I started doing this about 3 years ago. 15 years to really grasp this concept. And it's unknown the exponential amount of revenue and status that I have lost and will never get back because it's in the past. It's not something I can change now, but I can change the future. But what could I have been faster if I had just taken shorter, that kind of advice?
Yeah.
I mean, it's scary and sad at all the exact same time.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is true. I mean, fortunately, I'm pretty happy with the path that we're both on right now.
Oh, now, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if things would have gone differently in real estate back then, and for either one of us, we might not be where we are today because we might have been too satisfied, if that makes sense.
Very, very much. There's a relationship about 3 years ago that ended for me, which I thought I was going to get married. I thought this was it, all these other things. Dude, she walked out of my life for no reason, right? No reason. And like we were talking marriage and like locations and blah blah blah, and who's gonna spend, where we're gonna spend the holidays, the whole nine yards, right? When she left with no reason, I was devastated. It almost killed me. It literally almost took me out. I mean, that was a close. I had friends and family that were close to save my life. But I know, and this goes back to your comment, Matt. If she had not left, I would not be here with you. Real Estate Uncensored would not exist. We would not be changing the lives and influencing some of those folks the way that we are today, because I know my mindset. So everything does happen for a reason. I agree with you. Mm-hmm. But you can, that's always hindsight, right? That's always the Monday morning quarterback going, I see the reason here. But even if Steve Jobs said in his commencement speech over at Stanford, not seeing the dots connect shouldn't stop you from moving forward. If you don't see the value of door knocking or cold calling or going to the stupid networking event that you've been to 100 times, well, I'm going to go again, or doing that last open house for the season or whatever else. If you can't see how the dots connect, you're going to be afraid. But when you do the actions, you're going to see you'll ultimately see why it took place, and you'll be okay with it.
Yeah, it's true. I was so I read a really interesting kind of a case study today, and for anybody that hasn't already, go look up Craig Ballantyne. Wrote a book called The Perfect Day Formula. It looks really, really good. I haven't picked up the book yet, but he put a whole kit together, and he's real big into the internet marketing crowd. So a lot of people that I pay attention to have kind of helped him with his launch and stuff like that. And the stuff looks really, really good. But anyway, I read a case study today written by a guy that has helped him a lot with his copywriting over the years, and kind of seen the transformation that he's gone on from just like fitness expert into now business author, business speaker, and basically jumped out of fitness into something much, much bigger, and kind of broke down how he did it. And it took him a good 10 years to really solidify the vision and get out of just the fitness industry where he was successful and break into something bigger. And so he asked him, like, what did you do in all those years when, so he's the one that bought Early to Rise so earlytorise.com. If you guys don't know what that is, go look that up. So anyway, he bought Early to Rise. Him and a business partner did 10 years ago. They're just now solidifying the vision of what that really is. So all this time they've owned it and have been working on it and tinkering and all this stuff, but it just wasn't what they really wanted. The vision wasn't clear, and it wasn't having the success that they wanted. So the guy that wrote up the case study asked him, he's like, what did you do like during those years where it just wasn't clear, right? You didn't have that clear vision of where you wanted to go. He's like, dude, you grind it out, and you just focus on making progress every day and learning, and then it will click. And things just kind of clicked, and then this thing clicked, and then that thing clicked, and eventually all this stuff comes together. He's like, but in the meantime, you just kind of slog it out. And that's hard to keep in mind sometimes, and that's why you have to go through some of the things, Greg, that you mentioned about like clearing negative energy, just using your mental mechanics to keep your mindset right. Because if you keep plugging away through things that are unclear, things will become clear, but it will take time. And if you have faith that stuff is going to clear up and things are going to click and things are going to work, they will. Things will eventually fall into place. Maybe not quite in the way that you wanted to. Real Estate Uncensored is one path we could have taken. You could have been massively successful if you put in the work years ago, but you might have been happy with that, and you might not have ever started Real Estate Uncensored.
Exactly.
So everything, like things happen for a reason and things click, but maybe something different than you would have expected. But now we're really happy that it kind of formed that way.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the moral of this story, was just, you just keep plugging away, keep grinding, keep learning, and things will click and they will be successful, just not always quite in the way that you expect.
Yeah, guys, if you want to get some ideas of where you can learn, if you're newer into the business or want to do some ideas for videos, go to realtytimes.com. Information aggregator has 7 different categories. Consumer advice at the top. They're going to have a drop down of 7 different categories. You can read a new article in a different category every single day and become smarter in those different categories. 352 days in the year, guys, at 352 articles, you're going to get smarter very quickly. Okay, you're going to be the most interesting agent in the room. Maybe, we'll see. But you also go to neighborhoodscout.com, learn about the ins and outs of the local neighborhoods that you're working in or want to work in, so that you can talk about statistics and interesting facts about the neighborhoods that other people won't know. When you talk, we can go on listing appointments, or when you're working with buyers, you can talk statistics with them. People only know what you tell them, guys. And I never became a student of knowledge until I was so flat ass broke and broken as a person that I had to do self-education. They did a study a number of years ago. They nicknamed it the Asphalt University. They said that if you go out and read a book, 30 minutes on the way to work, or 25 minutes on the way to work, 25 minutes on the way home from work for a full year in one subject matter, you will have the equivalent of a PhD in that subject matter. So if you're going to be spending the time anyways, and us real estate agents, we're not in the car just for, an hour a day, essentially. We're in the car for a lot longer because we're driving around, showing people, going to meetings and everything else. If you could speed up that process exponentially, every other P word I can probably throw out there, guys, you will be able to become incredibly intelligent and then be able to bring value, aka in your mind, to your clients. And that's what I didn't do in the beginning years. I didn't bring value, and I didn't do client control because I didn't know the difference to people. I let people walk all over me. Yeah. And I let them just beat me up. My cliche saying was this: Matt, Julie, your 3 obese babies, I'm super excited to be working with you today. You know what? I'm available 24/7, and if you call me, my phone doesn't work, it's either out of batteries or I'm asleep. As soon as I either charge them or I wake up, I'll give you a call. Remember, I'm always available for you. They took that to heart.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, and what's funny, I always get a chuckle out of this because that's almost every agent says that. Like, I'm always available 24/7. Just call me. Well, the thing about that is that's not even a competitive advantage, because everybody else says the same thing. So you start from something that really isn't practical to even deliver, and then everybody else says the same thing. So it's not a competitive advantage, and you can't actually follow through on it. You're literally starting from the only place to go is down. The only thing you can possibly do from the point of telling them that I'm always available is failure, because there will be some point where you are not available, and at that point you have failed. So I always got to try. I never did that. I was very specific. That's why I was a big fan of like weekly update calls, because I didn't want to get those middle of the night freak outs.
Oh my God, we actually need a 4-bedroom, not a 3-bedroom. Like, I don't give a fuck, dude. It's 4 a.m.
That's right. Like, did you just conceive? What is going on here? Like, it is 4 a.m. in the morning. Why are you calling me?
If you guys can't see me because you're on iTunes.
Craig, man, I've got a feeling we're going to need another bedroom.
First off, we would never be having that conversation.
about 8 3/4 months.
Oh, now we just want the kid.
Oh man!
All right,
we're quickly going downhill. We're both tired and we need to stop. All right,
shush. Hey, wait, go. Evan's got some good books he's posting into the YouTube channel. Go take a look at some of the stuff he's talking about. The 5 Essential People Skills by Dale Carnegie. Where was the other one that I just saw, Evan? Damn it, it's in there somewhere, buddy. Anyways, guys, go take a look at the YouTube channel and read some of the comments that he's posting. Good stuff, man. We love the engagement. Keep it up with us. Matt, what do you want to do? Do you want to keep talking? Because I like talking.
Well, what else have you got?
I don't know. I got everything.
You got everything.
Let's do 2 more questions out of the LGSO.
There wasn't a whole lot that caught my eye just in the last couple of days. Honestly, there was some there's some daily schedule stuff, but Aaron's coming out with something that will solve a lot of that. So I don't want to step on what he's going to talk about. because everybody has their own thoughts. I will say this in terms of what you might want to add to a daily schedule besides prospecting, and there's 2 questions about that. Just based on, I think it was our last broadcast and some other stuff too, is follow-up. Right?
Oh God. Yes. I suck at it.
And and I'm not good at it either. I mean, I don't know that anybody is good at it. You have to force yourself to be good at it. But yeah, the money is in the follow-up.
Guys, let me show you this. I just got to show you this. This is my disaster of a desk, my yellow pads, papers everywhere. And this is my stack of lead single sheets, guys, that I suck at following up. So I'm in your boat. I blow at it, and I'm desperately trying to become better at it. Matt, you nailed it on the head. The money is absolutely in the follow-up. 1,000%. What? Okay, I'm going to flip it around. Well, what is the best follow-up that you've seen from like top agents that you work with Cone and a few of the other guys? What is their follow-up? Simplified.
Honestly? Yeah. You want to know what the best follow-up? There's 2 things.
No, lie to me. Honestly,
right?
No.
You have 2 perspectives on it. 2 perspectives on this. Number 1, pick up the phone and just call them, right? Which people struggle with, and here's why they struggle with it, which is they don't feel like they're bringing value, and that's 100% true.
Oh yeah.
Right. So you have a small subset of people that are so high D and so driven that they don't care. And they can pick up the phone and call somebody, and it doesn't matter whether they feel like they're bringing value because they want the sale. Now, that's great. If you're that person and you're going, well, what are you talking about? I just pick up the phone and call. What do I don't give a fuck what they think or whether I bring value or not. I just want the sale. If that's you, great. You don't have to worry about it. For everyone else who has an issue with
the 95% of us,
they don't feel like they're bringing value, which is 90% of people, you have to solve that problem, at least in your head, right? You have to feel like you're bringing value. So one of the people that I feel like is best on this is I did an interview with him last year with Aaron Wittenstein and a guy named Jason Shinpa. And Jason is an agent out of Florida. He has a team now. Their entire team runs on 60 to 70% referrals. That started with him working his database. And then as they brought on agents, they taught them to work their database. And as he withdrew from the business, he actually passed his own database onto the agents on his team and helped them and shepherded them into relationships with people in his own database so that they still get most of their business from referrals, even though now he's able to withdraw from production. It's very rare, extremely rare, right? And the reason he's able to do that is that when he makes a call to someone in his database, he is genuinely picking up the phone and calling them and just being interested in what they have going on and bringing value by having a good, genuine, interesting conversation with them, just by not by asking questions in a weird interviewing rapid fire make people uncomfortable way, but literally just calling them to see what's up and say hi, and then just chit chat about what's going on in their life. And then inevitably they will ask him, hey, what's going on? Oh, things are great, team is growing, market's really interesting right now, it's really good for buyers or whatever, so we're working with a lot of buyers right now, and he'll just chit chat about the market and whatnot. And then if they bring up a referral opportunity, then he'll explain how to maybe pass that person on. If it doesn't come up, no worries, moving on to the next person.
So what you're saying is don't treat your follow-ups, your prospects, or anything else as like you're in a speed dating event when you're going to get it. How many questions can you get in 5 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, because that's not personal.
Yeah. So one thing that he also mentioned is he doesn't worry about calls per hour. So when he's calling his database, totally irrelevant.
There's a guy that he passed away a couple of years ago, but he was an older gentleman. He lived in San Jose, California. He farmed this area that I actually door knocked. It wasn't a huge area. It was like, 800 homes total. Wasn't big. Guys, we're talking like cars parked on the lawn kind of shit. Okay, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, and this is back at the peak. What he did for his follow-up, Matt, was very simple. His follow-up was door knocking every day. 1 hour a day. Doesn't matter if it was blisteringly 115 degrees hot or pouring down rain. 1 hour, he was out door knocking. That neighborhood knew him. If his follow-up was his consistency and staying true to his marketplace. He got every single sale in there. He made on a normal year $250,000, on great years $850,000.
Wow.
So it's incredible. A totally different way of doing follow-up, but he did an in-person follow-up. consistently just being there, always being there. You know, if Matt was the agent in my neighborhood and he was stalking my house, I would have pit bulls. But you know, on a normal agent, if he was farming my neighborhoods,
such a douche.
I'm a douche in recovery. Thank you very much.
You would be thankful. You'd be thankful to see me coming down the way, because you'd know that there's nothing but good times, good vibes, and scintillating conversation coming your way. How dare you? How dare you?
Honey, lock the kids. He's on the move.
That's right.
No, but I mean, but if I consistently saw Matt coming up with good information that would be useful, of course I'd be happy to see him. Matt, what up, dude? Hey, Craig, how's life? Did you do the remodel? Yeah, I did the remodel. Come on, take a look at it. Awesome, come on in. Blah, blah, blah. And the conversation continues. Because the gentleman who passed away, the agent, he didn't care if we talked to 100 people or one person. It was equally as good, because if you have that one solid conversation, or if you have 10 or 15 very short conversations with somebody, and this could be on calls, this could be at networks, guys, this can be anywhere. It's just building the relationships, keeping that foundation strong, and that's where a lot of us go bad, is because our foundations erode away, because we just assume that Matt is just going to call me when he's ready to sell his house. Couldn't be further from the truth. People buy out of convenience, not out of loyalty.
Let me share a quick story on that. So I was talking to, and this is a while back, I was talking to a guy who founded a mortgage company, which now is $1 billion mortgage company. And he shared a story that his aunt called him up one day and said, hey, you do something in mortgage and loans or something like that. Hey, I just got a loan from Wells Fargo for my new house. Would you mind taking a look and just checking out, making sure it's a good deal? This is a guy who started and owned a mortgage company, and his own aunt didn't contact him before she bought a house and got a mortgage.
Oh my God, that sucks. But it goes to the fact. I mean, here's another story. There was this chick in my AIM class, the Agents in Motion thing that I teach here at J. Rockcliffe. A couple years ago, she was just fucking pissing me off. She was just contradicting me, fighting me, and on everything. Basically, I said, look, bitch, either this is what you're going to do, or don't come back into the class on Monday. You're going to go contact 5 of your sphere of influence, and you're going to let them know what you're doing. Deal or no deal? She's like, deal. Well, guess what? She tried to cheat. Can you imagine someone tried to cheat on me, Matt? And she called her uncle. She says, hey, Unc, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. They connect. She goes, hey, I'm thinking about, I just got into real estate. He said, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm just going to go buy a second house. And the house was about $1.5 million, by the way. And could you write the offer for me?
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. And I just look at her, just vindication just all over my face. I'm like, ha!
You just made that chick like $40,000.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? And I'm like, do you want to do some more calls and follow-ups and letting people know what you're doing? She's like, yeah. I'm like, no shit, yeah. Not that hard.
Yeah. It's funny. But I think a lot of that is, I mean, yeah, there are some genuinely douchey people out there, but I think that's usually not the case. I think people are just afraid. There's a lot of people that are they're afraid to reach out to people because they have that sense that they're taking value and not giving value. And that if you can overcome that part of it, and it's just a matter of learning. I mean, I had this, was not confident reaching out to my database because I wasn't quite sure how I was going to bring value. If I had known guys like Jeff Cohn back in that day, they could have showed me how, because they cracked that code, between adding them to an email list for the new homes that come on the market in a person's neighborhood, or like an updated home value on their home. And there are some other things, in terms of like developing relationships and being able to link people up with the contractors they need. And Greg, you guys have your good guys list, and there's a lot of ways that a realtor can add value to people that they probably don't think about, but if they would stop and think about it, it would make them much more confident to reach out to their database and reach out to people that they're following up with for leads, because then they would realize that, hey, I have value to add other than just closing the sale. That it's not even about closing the sale, it's about communicating and bringing value, and bringing value will eventually lead to the sales one way or the other. But it's not, Jeff had a great perspective on this, Jeff Cohn. So I did a hangout with him last year called The Fastest Way to Six Figures in Real Estate. And he shared like his key mindset going in when he first got into the business was, every person in my database, they may never do a deal with me. I don't care. All I want is 2 referrals from them. which that completely changes your mindset, because then you're going in going, okay, it's not about whether they ever buy or sell from me. I want to bring value, and I want them to have such a good impression of me as a professional and as a human being that they just want to send their family and friends to me. And if I would have had that mindset going in when I started, I think things would have been a lot different.
Yeah, you know what? And in closing, as we wrap this thing up, we are reaching bingo on this rapidly. I want to just give you guys this. I want to give you permission to fail. I want you to give you permission to not be the smartest person in the room. It's okay. It is. Matt and I joke around a lot, but it is truly okay. As long as you have a heart and a mindset of growth, and you say, you know what, Matt, that's a fantastic question. I have never been asked. That is a beautiful question. Unless it's like, how many bedrooms was that house? And you're like, that's a fantastic question. I've never been asked that. Don't use it in that scenario. But, I could just see that happening. But,
yeah, it's a great question. I appreciate that. That is fantastic. Let me just take a moment to answer that question.
Let me analyze it and get back to you. Okay.
Yeah, okay. George, President Bush 1, a.k.a. Dana Carvey.
But guys, like I said, it is okay to be wrong as long as you are willing to go out and get the answers for your clients. Don't be afraid to talk about the hard subjects, but do as much self-education as you can. Don't be like I was in the beginning. Be way better than the Greg version 1. That was just riddled with douche errors.
Not gonna do it.
Now I'm bet.
Not gonna do it. All right, guys. This is quickly deciding. We're coming up on a holiday, so let's get on with it. All right, guys. First of all, go to McDanielRealEstateSystems.com. Check out Greg's favorite scripts. Download that for free. Check out the high-touch real estate farming product. That is 99 smackers for 8.5 hours of the best content we can possibly lay down on video for you guys. We've got some other cool stuff coming down the road, which we're very excited about. So stay tuned for that stuff. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher, depending on whether you want the video or audio versions.
Matt, we're better in video.
We are better in video. We are better, but if you want to, listen to us in the gym or in the car, you want to get on iTunes or Stitcher. Come on now.
Okay. But then rewatch it.
Everybody can't just sit down at the computer and watch us in all of the video glory.
Self-promotion horrors that we are. God. Anyways, you guys, hey, I absolutely love you to pieces. The reason why I do the McDaniel Challenge one, it is not being offered right now from this point forward, is because I am booked out until almost to the end of March of 2018. Yes, it is 2018. I did say that right. So guys, it's too far out, but we're going to be introducing what we call Jump the Line on weeks that I have a free Thursday. And if I'm on the Wednesday show, you guys have got to watch us live. And then interact with me. I say, hey guys, it's a jump the line Wednesday. First person to reach out to me and give me the date and your name of when we had the McDaniel Challenge. As soon as I verify that is accurate, then I will move you up immediately to that next day. And then keep an eyeball. Matt and I are going to be coming up with some group coaching products, just purely because of the outcry that people are kind of getting a little bit pissed that it was pushed out so long. So my apologies that if you guys are waiting longer. We did not know it was going to take off like this. I'm glad that you guys are taking it. I'm glad that you guys are here. Don't get me wrong, but I just want to give you more value now so you guys can be successful now, not in a year and 5 months.
Yeah, that's right.
3 months.
That's
but anyways, love you guys.
And guys, reach out to us. So here's the deal. So Greg cannot accept any more friend requests. So follow him on Facebook. I still have much more room than Greg does. So one of the best ways to interact.
Lots.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, but one of the best ways to interact, if you want to get a question answered live, is friend request me and message me during the show, because I'm able to keep my eyes open for stuff like that and bring the questions to Greg and the guest usually. Greg's not able to quite keep his eye on that stuff as much as I have the ability to. We will be moving over the broadcast as soon as Blue Jeans gets their act together and we can use the platform to broadcast on Facebook Live. We'll actually be in the lead gen scripts and objections group every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so you'll be able to comment and ask questions in the Facebook thread, but you can also message me directly. I am facebook.com/pursuing results. You can also find me there on Instagram under pursuing results. Greg, what's your what's your Snapchat handle? Is it REU444?
Yeah, Snapchat's REU444, and then Instagram is McDaniel Callahan.realestate.
Cool. All right.
So yeah, guys, go do it. And then Matt and I are going live I'm going live Monday through Friday in the LGSO group between 4 and 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Matt's going to be going live and more and more every single day. So watch us, guys. What we give there is much different content than what we bring here. So if you want to get more of what we're delivering, if we're bringing value to you, you can go watch other other versions of us.
Other versions of us. That's right.
I know that works.
Exactly. That's fine.
All right. Let's get the fuck out of here and go eat some turkey.
All right, let's do it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We love you guys. Appreciate all the comments, all the interaction, following us, all that good stuff. Thank you, and we will see you on the next one.
Later, guys. Love you.